Hey everybody, it's Mandy from Trouble Forge. So I posted a video where Bud and I made apple cider and we froze it and it's delicious and I'm so excited to have that in the freezer. The leftover from the cider gave us a ton of goo to make apple butter. So I'm going to teach you today how to make apple butter. So I have two roasters about this full that was the leftover from when we ran it through the juicer and I showed it in that video. I'll link that in the description. So doing this is so super easy, and as you can tell, it's already dark. We've been doing apples all day, so I'm kind of relieved to just throw this together and put it in roasters and then deal with it tomorrow. So I will drop the recipe that I'm going to follow in the description. You can really modify this as much as you want. I'm going to do sugar and cinnamon. You could add things like allspice, nutmeg, clove. You could put in brown sugar if you'd like to do that. You could do vanilla, whatever you'd like to do. You can really modify that. The apples are super acidic, so that's where your acidity is going to come from. So I am going to put my sugar in, put my cinnamon in, and then don't mind the mess all over here. I dumped it in from the 5-gallon bucket. I'm going to let this sit on 200 overnight. Both roasters, I'm going to have them sit on 200 overnight. I can't run both roasters in the kitchen because I'm afraid I'm going to trip a breaker when I start the coffee maker in the morning. So we're just going to do them in 2 separate rooms, which is fine. No biggie. So I'm going to get my sugar stirred in, my cinnamon stirred in, and then in the morning we'll taste test it. I might decide to throw in some vanilla or something tomorrow, but I think we're just going to keep it real simple. We're going to get a lot of apple butter off of this. So we are really getting a lot of bang for our buck on this apple purchase. So I'm guessing I spent like $80-ish on apples. I got 12 gallons of apple cider out of it, which doesn't seem like a lot, but apple cider is expensive. I mean, if you buy it at $5 to $8 a gallon, that's pretty expensive. And I'm guessing, I don't know for sure yet, but I'm guessing I'm going to get, I don't know, 25, 30 pints maybe of apple butter out of this. So I'm going to can this in pints. That just makes more sense for our family than half pints. So I'll show you that process once we get there. But this is what we're going to do so we can let it sit overnight and we can shower and clean up the porch. And I also want to note that I am going to put the recipe in the description, but I am significantly cutting the sugar. I am probably cutting it by a quarter at least. So it calls for like 16 apples to 4 cups of sugar, which I feel like is very excessive. I'm guessing I have, I don't know, probably 50 apples maybe, and I did like 6 cups of sugar. So that's up to you. You can taste test this many times as it's cooking down and decide what you want to do. We don't need our super sweet, and we don't need all that extra sugar. So, and it's not like it's jelly or jam where you're trying to get it to set up. So it doesn't really matter if you cut the sugar. All right, so next morning, I had turned these down to like 150 overnight. When I got up this morning, I stirred them. I turned them up to like 200. I'm getting a little bit of bubbling and darkening around the edges. Not burning, just a little bit of darkening. It smells so good. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this through the Vitamix so that I can get it really smooth. I love the taste. I think it's exactly what we want. Like I said, at this point, you could add in vanilla, clove, nutmeg, allspice, whatever it is that your family might enjoy. You could up the sweetness if you need to. You could add more cinnamon, any of those things. So I am going to run this through the Vitamix. We're going to get our table set up, put all of our pint jars on it, and then we're just going to pour it from the Vitamix right into the jars. All right, so because our stuff is hot, all right, we're getting our canner started, if you can hear the fire going. So Bud is going to fill these, going to get the canning funnel. So we're just going to fill these right from the pitcher. I don't know if this is going to be enough jars. We may have to dig out some more, but we are going to get these jars filled and then get them in the can. Headspace on these needs to be a 1/4 inch, and then we'll process them for 10 minutes. All right, so we got 39 jars of apple butter, which I think is awesome. So from 6.5 bushels of apples, which I spent $78 on, I got 39 pints of apple butter and 12 gallons of cider. So you figure, okay, let's say you buy apple butter at like a farmer's market and they're charging $5, $8, $10 maybe. I just talked to the lady at our extension office that I'm friends with. She said a lot of farmers markets you could pay upwards of $10 and $12 for a kind of a specialty item like apple butter. So let's say it's, I don't know, let's say $10. That's $390 in apple butter. Even if you say it's half of that, we're at $200. So this was totally worth it. I would have have loved to have gotten more cider. I mean, there's never enough cider to go around, ever. Maybe next year we'll try something fun like hard cider. I don't have enough bandwidth for that right now. But I'm stoked about this. This is a serious amount of product out of the apples that I got. So I have, obviously we wiped all the rims, wiped them really good with vinegar because this is pretty sticky. That took me probably 30 minutes in itself, just wiping all of these down. Got all of our lids and rings on. So I have these 2 canners filled. I have these ready to go. I had a friend stop by, and so I had to turn my burners off, but everything's about at the same temp, so I think we'll be fine. So we are going to process these, I think 10 minutes for pints. You can also do these in half pints or quarter pints if, you know, you don't feel like your family would work through a pint of apple butter in, you know, before it would go bad or whatever. You can do that whatever size jar you want. I wouldn't do quarts probably. So we are going to work these through the canner, and then I am super excited to pull these out and get these on the shelf. I have a pantry tour coming soon. I'm really trying to just finish up preservation season before I do a pantry tour. I have tomatoes left to do today, and I think that's it. I think we're just going to do stewed tomatoes, and then I might be done with canning season until this winter when I do like beans and meat and stuff like that. But as far as like fresh produce goes and taking care of that and canning it and whatever, I think stewed tomatoes might be the last thing that we do. I love preservation season, but man, it gets kind of exhausting. So I will appreciate a little break, and it'll be fun to do some other projects this winter. I really want to start working on learning how to make bread better. So I have a bread, like bread making for beginners or something. I really want to start working through that and just kind of start at the beginning. I also have like a pantry staples book, which is like making crackers and things like that. I'd love to work through that book this winter and really just work on, we really need to get a grain mill. So I'd love to get a grain mill. I have a manual one, but I'd love to get like a plug-in kind and start milling my own flour. But even if I use store-bought flour already pre-ground for now, at least if I could start kind of mastering things like bread and biscuits and bagels and crackers and things like that, that would be amazing. So I am looking forward to coming to the end of preservation season, getting my pantry organized, because I have several hundred jars that need to go on the shelf yet. So that was just a little side note about what's to come. But we are going to get this apple butter in and canned and finish this up. All right, so here we go. This is our apple butter. It looks fantastic. I'm super excited about it. This is going to be so good on so many things. So if you have questions about how to do apple butter, let me know. We'll see you next time.